Hello, I'm with Brian Hinton tonight, who is a member of several clubs in Rochester. It's really great to have a chance to talk with you this evening, Brian.
Well, thank you, Chuck. It's my pleasure to be here. It's been quite an experience in my career here in Toastmasters since 1998, I guess. So it's been about 22 years. I'm in two clubs here in Rochester and a club in Red Wing and another club in Shakopee in District 6, and then I'm in two other clubs in District 106 right now. I guess I would consider my home club right now as Southern Minnesota Mentors in Rochester. It's a leadership advanced club, and that club has probably the most amount of time that I've spent. So I guess I'll consider that my home club at this point.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing about our new online environment, that we can belong to multiple clubs and actually make it work logistically. It would be tough to do it, belong to that number of clubs, if we weren't doing this online.
That is really true, especially the fact that I belong to a club that's actually located in Pequot Lakes in District 106, and another club in District 106 that meets in the cities that I've never really had a chance to visit face to face. So the online Zoom method has really worked well for me to be able to get from club to club.
Yeah.
Plus the international experience. I do know some people that visit clubs internationally, and we actually have a member of Southern Minnesota Mentors who actually is located in Berlin, Germany. So Zoom, there are some really great things about the online meetings.
Yeah. No, it's interesting you would say that, because a friend of mine that I got to know in a prior Toastmaster club now lives in Japan. And he had actually invited me at least to participate in a meeting, but to do that, I would have to log on at something like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I think eventually I'll do it at least once, but it would be tough to join the club, I think.
Right.
Plus, I don't know how to pay the dues.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they collect dues in yen, so.
Yeah, there's some logistics there. A little bit of an issue, but
just
it
kind of
can be done.
That's right. You mentioned you've been in Toastmasters for, what, was it 23 years?
Right.
What was it that originally brought you to Toastmasters? I'm just curious.
That's a great question. And actually, at the time, I was working at IBM, delivering presentations to second line managers and other individuals, team leads and so forth. And I remember getting up and standing up in front of the group of people and delivering status reports, looking out at the audience and seeing all of the eyes glaze over. That's just, I knew something had to be done there. And then it was my manager that talked to me afterwards and said, you really need to join a Toastmasters club. I told him, no, I'll find something different, because I had joined a Toastmasters club many years prior and only was there for about 6 months. I found it way too intimidating because everybody spoke so well, and it seemed to me that they required that. And I didn't feel that I spoke that well. So I quit. Then I rejoined when I was at IBM, and I found the club very welcoming and very helpful, basically, and helped me to gain some confidence in front of people once again. And from there, I've done a lot of things, district office area, division, director positions, and actually this past year I was finance manager for District 6, and I found that to be quite eye-opening. Lots of fun, lots of different people to meet and so forth. So there is a lot really to do in Toastmasters.
Yeah. So wow, that's quite a number of years involvement with Toastmasters. And I'm sure you would agree that this year is totally different in many respects than prior years. Just wondering, this year, how has it been coming along? Have you had any really positive experiences, or just what would you like to share about this year?
Well, that's an interesting question as well. And there are some good things, I think, that have come out of the environment that we live in basically now, with all of our presentations and meetings being virtual. Some good things there are the fact that, hey, I no longer have to drive. Okay, that's a kind of a minor thing, but I guess the other thing that I've been experiencing is that we do get guests a lot more, and it's a lot easier, I think, to get a guest to appear, especially if you use Eventbrite to have a special presentation or an open house or something. And people can register from all over the world. We actually had a visitor, a guest from Sri Lanka, if I'm pronouncing the name of the country correctly, this last past meeting that we had with Southern Minnesota Mentors. You have a good reason to put on a presentation, advertise it. Eventbrite is a good tool to use for that, I've found. So there's some good things that have come out of this year.
Right. Well, I always like to follow up that question with the question about, if you had any new learning opportunities or best practices that you've had. Just mentioning the use of Eventbrite, I guess, would be one item. Is there anything else that you think has gone really well, or best practice that you've become aware of?
I think learning how to present in front of a webcam. Right now, I'm seated. I like to stand when I do my presentations, but because I feel that actually helps to enhance the voice, the delivery of your message. So learning how to do that in a confined space where this is as wide as you can get,
right?
Or, that's been a challenge. Yet again, that has been something to learn anew as well. That's one thing I can think of right off.
Yeah, that's interesting. The way that we present ourselves in an online format, it's a skill set in itself, for sure. Well, Brian, I always like to finish these interviews with maybe a message that you would give to someone who's considering Toastmasters. What would you say to that person?
I would say, depending on their interest level, basically, but I would say, if you're considering Toastmasters, I highly recommend that you give it a try. Visit a club, visit several clubs, and they're so much easier while we're here in a virtual world to visit several different clubs. Give it a try and join. Push yourself if you have to. I found I had to. Push yourself beyond your comfort level, and you'll find that Toastmasters clubs and the individuals who are members of that club are welcoming, and they'll help you develop your communication leadership skills however you want to pursue your goals.
Well, that's a great message. Well, Brian, again, thank you for your time this evening. And I know that you live in Rochester. I live in the Twin Cities. I hope we can, at some point, at some future meeting, I hope we can meet up. But again, thanks for participating in this video project.
Thank you, Chuck. And I do hope we meet person to person at some point as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.